Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā. Bhagavati Uttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtaki. Ārādhayo Bhagavāna Brajeshatanayas Tadhāma Vrindavanam. Ramya Kāchitupāsana Vrajavadhu Vargena va Kalpita. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartho Mahan. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu Matamidam Tatradharana Para. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desha Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Kṛṣṇa Hare Kṛṣṇa Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namaste Girirajaya Govardhaniti Namine Ashesha Klesha Nashaya Param Ananda Daine. Hare Krishna. Dear worshipable devotees, thank you so much for joining. We are reading this beautiful chapter, which is one of the very, very sweet pastimes of Lord Śrī Krishna, the lifting of the Govardhan hill. And it's in multiple chapters. So we are reading the first of those chapters, Canto 10, chapter 24. And we have read the text 32, 33 last call. You may not find the recordings from verse 2, so I'll try to cover up those recordings in my free time and cover up the recordings till text 34 as well, from verse 2 to 33. But here we'll continue from 34 onwards, since most of the devotees have read the verses in between. So, without further delay, let's go to text number 34. Anamsi annadudyuktani techar huyasva alankritaha gopyascha krishna viryani gayantyah sa dvijashishaha. Translation. There is no purport here. Translation: the disciples of His Divine Grace, Abhicharana Arvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. As the beautifully ornamented cowherd ladies followed along, riding on wagons drawn by oxen, they sang the glories of Lord Śrī Krishna, and their songs mingled with the Brahmanas' chanting of benedictions. Hare Kṛṣṇa. So, if you go back to the last verse, or just give a quick background, Lord Krishna suggested to the Vrajavasis that, and he gave multiple reasons, primarily which are like atheistic reasons. He gave atheistic reasons like karma is supreme. Don't worry about God and all. Karma is the supreme thing. Actually, that's incorrect. But Lord Krishna is using that philosophy because he wants to lift Govardhan Leela, lift Govardhan Hill. At the same time, he wants to bring Indra from the mountain, down from the mountain of false ego. So he's lifting two mountains, as we discussed in the previous chapters also. He destroyed the fire of separation. First, he destroyed the fire, right? The physical fire, the gross fire, which was in one of the forest, by swallowing it. And then he destroyed the forest of, or he extinguished the fire of separation of the gopis. Similarly, in one Leela, Lord Krishna does multiple pastimes. And primarily to give enjoyment to the devotees. That's the main reason. But at the same time, he corrects his devotees also. If the devotees go in the wrong direction, Indra is also a devotee, and Krishna cannot tolerate, like a father cannot tolerate if the son develops pride, thinking I am great, thinking I know everything, thinking no one is better than me, I'm the best. So Krishna wants to bring down Indra from that mountain of false pride, which he was at a very, very high mountain on the Mount Sumeru. That is Krishna. In one Leela, he does so many things. So here he said that, okay, you all don't worship Indra, you all worship Govardhan, and he gave multiple reasons. We are from the Vaishya community, and our duty is, our cows graze there, we get so much resources from Govardhan, etc. So forget about Indra, worship Govardhan. And all the Vrajavasis agreed. So here we see, as Krishna had told them, that you must offer pradakshina. They are offering pradakshina. Pradakshina has a very, very deep meaning. Even if we go now, we will see thousands and tens and thousands and lakhs of devotees and millions of devotees are offering pradakshina practically daily. And on some days, there is practically no room to walk. It's a 21 kilometer, about 15-mile stretch of circumference, but there is no room to keep the step. That's the devotion of so many thousands and millions of souls who every day, so many people are there from different parts of India and of course outside India as well. And some even there are different types of pradakshinas also. If you see over there, you will see some people are walking, right? Some people who can't walk due to either health reasons or age or whatever reason. There are some e-rickshaws these days. Like the ladies, as mentioned here, they are riding on wagons drawn by oxen. So in modern times, it's e-rickshaw. So some who can't do parikrama walking because of health or timing, right? Because walking would take 7-8 hours and they have only 2-3 hours. Everyone is very busy in Kali Yuga. So they want to get it fast or due to health or, so they use these rickshaws and stuff. Some people, some devotees, they also carry milk, they have a container, they have a pot, and the pot contains milk, and there is a hole in that milk, hole in that pot, and the milk keeps flowing. So it's basically drawing, like imagine you have like a container full of milk and there's a hole. So that hole will keep dripping milk and they will keep refilling it, the bigger container. So basically throughout the parikrama marg or the path of circumambulation, they are drawing like a streak of milk. Some people do dandavati parikrama. Danda means rod. What means like fall like a rod. So they fall, they don't walk. They like prostrate themselves fully. Ashtang pranam. All the 8 limbs of the body are touching, and then they have a stone, and then whichever length they have covered, 6 feet, 7 feet, whatever length they have covered, then they will get up again prostrate, again get up, again prostrate, and like that it takes 5-6 days for them. Some devotees prostrate 108 times at one spot, then move to the next spot. You cannot imagine. And some prostrate 1008 times at one spot. Their life is to do Govardhan Parikrama. They had no other business in life. Their life and soul is Govardhan Parikrama. This is the glories of Govardhan. It is not different from Krishna. This is the importance of Parikrama. Whether we do Parikrama of any temple, Krishna's temple, of devotees, of Tulsi Maharani, of Giriraj Govardhan, of Vaishnavas, of spiritual master, of the fire sacrifice, etc., etc. Very, very glorious, very, very glorious. Yani kani cha papani, brahma hatyadi cha kani cha, tani tani pranashyanti pradakshina pradepade. At every moment, even the sins committed like a brahma hatya kani cha. Brahmatyadi, like sins like brahmatya, like killing a brahmana, very, very sinful. And, by Krishna's mercy, I have been fortunate to do Govardhan Parikrama since my childhood. It's amazing to see the devotion there. It's amazing to see the people coming from so many different parts. And they have so much faith in Giri Govardhan. They have so much love towards Giri Govardhan. And devotees are chanting. So it takes 7-8 hours, 6-7 hours, depends on the pace. And most Iskcon Vaishnavas are, doing their japa along. They can easily chant around 40 rounds or so also as the japa is going on, parikrama is going on, they're prostrating, there comes tens and, maybe 50s of holy places along, starting from Hare Mandir. There's a beautiful quote when I went this time to Govardhan Parikrama. I was remembering at Hare Mandir, Manasi Ganga Śrī Haridev गोवर्धन की परिक्रमा करो, कुंड कुंड चरणामृत पियो, अपना जीवन सफल कर लो. मानसी गंगा श्री हरिदेव, गोवर्धन की परिक्रमा करो, कुंड कुंड चरणामृत लो, अपना जीवन सफल करो. So there are a lot of kundas, water bodies, holy water bodies like Surbi Kund, Govind Kund, Apsara Kund, Naval Kund, Narad Kund, Kusum Sarovar, etc., all the Govardhan Parikrama Marg, Radha Kund, Sham Kund, of course, and so many temples, Mansi Ganga, Sri Haridev Mandir, Lota Baba temple, Narsinghdev temple, so many temples come in the Parikrama Marg. So here, the ladies, we are talking about all the Vrajavasis. They immediately changed up their mind. That's Krishna consciousness. They immediately changed up. Forget about what we want to do, what Krishna wants us to do. That is love. They didn't want their plan. I mean, just think about their plan was not Govardhan Puja on that day. And they had made a lot of arrangements. It's like mountains of rice, mountains of kachoris, mountains of, laddus and stuff. Everyone had gathered ingredients from different, because they were, okay, I should also offer Indra, otherwise Indra will get angry with me. Hey, everyone offered from their homes. I didn't offer from my home. Indra will get angry. So please take ingredients from my home too. I don't want to be left out in this. And everyone agreed to Krishna's proposal. So, and what are they doing? That's also very, very beautiful to read here. So they're not talking, while we are doing parikrama, Parikrama is also a very spiritual act. Parikrama is a act of bhakti, right? Let me open that. So while doing parikrama or any act of spiritual life, we should not be talking, like some people, unfortunately, as Kali Yuga is progressing, even on Govardhan Parikrama, I also see some people like smoking cigarette, right? Some people talking about their business, talking about money and this order and this job and boss, and okay, all that might be required, but maybe it's not that urgent. Maybe we can talk after we are done with that. So while doing a spiritual activity, whether it's cooking for Krishna, chanting Krishna's holy name, whether we are, reading Bhagavatam, so we should try to absorb in there. And how can we be absorbed? By talking about Krishna. And that's what the Vrajavasis are showing. By their own example, they were singing. And we know this, Mata Yashoda and others, they were always talking about Krishna. Yani yani ha gitani tad bala charitani cha. Even while dadi nirmantani kale smaranti tani agayata. Even while churning butter, what were they doing? They had, Prabhupada says, poeticized Krishna's pastimes. Because it's easy to remember a song than a paragraph, right? So the Krishna's friends, they would do different pastimes, Krishna, and then in the evening they'll come and they'll tell, oh, Krishna killed this demon, oh, Krishna killed this demon. So finally they would make a song out of it, and then they would keep singing all those songs. This was the life and soul of the Vrajavasis. This was the life and soul of all the Vrajavasis. So I'm opening Nectar of Devotion, and out of the many limbs, one is, out of the many limbs of bhakti, one of them is to circumambulate, right? So whenever we are circumambulating, we always keep the object of worship towards our right, like go clockwise. So keeping the object of worship towards our right. That should be, that's quite important. So we see, and it's a festive mood also. They are nicely dressed with ornaments. They are, because it's a festival, and they are singing about Krishna, and they are, the Brahmanas, they are chanting different benedictions. So this is what we see in this particular verse. Any other comments, thoughts anyone else has? Okay, we can go to the next verse, which is text 35. Would someone like to read this?
I can read Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa devotees, Dhamma Pranam, all goes to Śrīla Prabhupada. Text 35. Krishnastu annat amam rupam gopa vishram vanam gata shoilo asmiti bhruvan bhuri bolim adad brihat bopu. Translation and purport by the disciples of his grace A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada, Śrīla Prabhupada and his disciples ki joy. Translation. Krishna then assumed an unprecedented, huge form to instill faith in the cowherd men. Declaring, I am Govardhan mountain, he ate abundant offerings. Purport. In chapter 24 of Krishna, the Supreme Person of Godhead, Śrīla Prabhupada writes, when everything was complete, Krishna assumed a great transcendental form and declared to the inhabitants of Vrindavan that he was himself Govardhan Hill in order to convince the devotees that Govardhan Hill and the Krishna himself are identical. The Krishna began to eat all the food offered there. The identity of Krishna and Govardhan Hill is still honored, and the great devotees take rocks from Govardhan Hill and worship them exactly as they worship the deity of Krishna in the temples. The followers of Krishna consciousness movement may therefore collect small rocks or pebbles from Govardhan Hill and worship them at home, because this worship is as good as deity worship. Lord Krishna has induced the residents of Vrindavan to assume a significant risk on his behalf. He convinced them to neglect a sacrifice to what is, after all, the powerful government of the universe, and to worship a hill called Govardhan instead. The Kahar community did all this simply out of love for Krishna. And now, to convince them that the decision was correct, Lord Krishna appeared in an unprecedented huge transcendental form and demonstrated that he himself was Govardhan Hill. So in this verse, we see that Krishna declared, I am Govardhan mountain. But at the same time, he also expanded himself to have to bring faith, or to have, actually they are the to bring faith for us actually, that Govardhan is none other than Lord himself, because all that Vrindavan events is his eternal associates. And we see that Vaishnavas worship rocks as a Krishna himself also. But Prabhupada here telling that sometimes devotees collect rocks, but as I know that we should not take any rocks from the Govardhan Hill unless we are gifted by some other Vaishnavas. Back to Prabhuji, please explain more. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for sharing, reading and sharing nectar from this verse. Krishnastav anya atmam. That means the Govardhan is another form. And that's what, that there is no difference between the deity and Krishna. So there is no difference between Govardhan and the Supreme Lord. It is Rupam. Rupa means form. Govindam Adi Purusham. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachit Ananda Vigraha. Vigraha or Sachit Ananda Rupa. These acronyms, these synonyms are used. These words are used interchangeably multiple times. That this mountain is non-different from the Supreme Lord. That Krishna, now someone can say, well, is every mountain like that? No, every mountain is, we can't just say every mountain is Govardhan or every mountain is God. How many people do circumambulate every mountain? No. And even if they start doing so, that's not bona fide. Yes, we can say, oh, everything is Krishna's energy. That's, yes, mountain also is Krishna's energy. Even an ordinary stone is also Krishna's energy. But that doesn't mean we bring every stone and say, oh, it's Govardhan here, and start worshipping it on the altar. No, that is not bona fide. Shaligram Shila, Govardhan Shila is non-different from Krishna. Prabhupada, the disciples are mentioned, the followers of Krishna consciousness movement may collect small rocks or pebbles, basically Shila, but actually, what the senior Vaishnavas say, that we should not try to collect, but rather if it comes to us and if we are qualified, if it will come to us, rather than we trying to force it. Bhakti is received. Bhakti is not captured. Bhakti cannot be purchased. Oh, I'll go next time and get 10 rocks from Govardhan. We may get 100 rocks, but we'll not be able to properly value it. But if we have a sincere desire, Krishna, I really want to worship Govardhan Shila. Maybe when we are ripe and mature, Krishna will arrange it. So that's a mood we should try to have. And also, they're doing it out of pure love, pure love. Such a big risk, Prabhupada is mentioning. Such a big risk. Who will take such a big risk? They took a very, very big risk. Why? Because they completely loved Supreme Lord. I was watching Little Krishna the other day, and I really like this particular, of course, you may have seen this Little Krishna, and so I'll just play a small section.
की कृपा है,
इंद्र पर निर्भर नहीं करता, बल्कि गोवर्धन पर्वत पर निर्भर करता है।
कृष्ण ठीक कहता है। आयुष्मान भव। ये सब इंद्र देव की नहीं, गोवर्धन की कृपा है। इसलिए मित्रों, सब लोग अपना अपना चढ़ावा एकत्रित करें, हम सब गोवर्धन की पूजा करेंगे।
गोवर्धन हूँ, मैं तुम्हारी प्रार्थना से बहुत प्रसन्न हूँ। अगर तुम सभी अपने पशुओं के साथ मेरी परिक्रमा करोगे तो मैं बहुत प्रसन्न होऊंगा।
So beautiful. This is Krishna. And bhakti is so simple and so joyful. Krishna, when he gave different reasons, he also gave one reason. Are Baba, you offer Indra Puja, you offering how many ingredients to Indra for many, many generations. How many times did Indra come? Did he come to take your ingredients? But if you worship Govardhan, Govardhan will personally come. And that's what we see here, is it not? That's what we are seeing here, that Govardhan, Krishna made a huge form, and that I am Govardhan, and he ate the abundant offerings. Now, why? Because they had put their heart and soul into Krishna, so Krishna wanted to strengthen their faith. But it does not mean, some people may take this otherwise. Hey, we offer food to, some people say, hey, you offer food to the deities. Deities don't take. Hey, why are you worshipping stones? The deities don't eat personally, right? That means you're worshipping stone, they're worshipping idols, you're worshipping some just metal or something. Is it not? They can take it the other way. How would we answer that? Any thoughts?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I think what I have understood is, Krishna, even with his glance also, he can, if we offer with love and devotion, he can accept with any of his senses. Thank you.
It's a very beautiful point. Thank you. Anyone else wants to add? Or
also, Prabhuji, with our material senses, we can see a lot of things. Even corona is killing us. How many of us we see corona? So we have to have that knowledge and special senses that comes with practice here, bhakti, to realize or to see or to get connected with this interaction of Lord and devotees.
Yes, that's also a very beautiful point. There's a beautiful verse in the Brahma Samhita. Angani yasya sakalindriya vrittimanti pashyanti panti kalyanti chiram jaganti. That means all his senses are interchangeable. How many of us can eat through eyes or smell through our skin? Right? We can't do that, but Krishna can. Krishna can do that. And as Baldev Prabhu also mentioned that just because I can't see, that doesn't mean that that's the truth. That's not the way to attain truth through our senses. Krishna's touch is transcendental. It's divya. So very nice points. But here, since they were doing first time, right? And we have seen multiple stories also where Krishna personally also comes, like Shirchor Gopinath, the story of multiple times he personally, like Radha Ramanji, and there are so many examples, or Jagannath, reciprocates, he'll eat, the Datun story, the Khichdi story, so many pastimes are there where he's eating and like sometimes even his tongue gets burned because of it's so hot. So many examples are there like that. So he may reciprocate in that way also. Let's go to the next verse. Would someone like to read text 36?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna devotees, and all the Vaishnavas who have done text 36. Tasmai namo braja janam saha chakra atmana manim aho pasyata sailo asau rupino anugraham vidya. Translation for the disciples of His Divine Grace from Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Together with the people of Braja, the Lord bowed down to this form of Govardhan hell. Thus, in the effect offering obeisances to himself, then he said, just see how this hell has appeared in person and bestowed mercy upon us. Purport. It is clear from the verse that Lord Krishna had expanded himself and was appearing in the normal form among the festival goers of Vrindavana, while simultaneously manifesting himself as the great form of the Govardhan hell. Thus, in his form as a child, Krishna led the residents of Vrindavana in bowing down to his new incarnation as Govardhan hill. And to all he pointed out the great mercy bestowed by his divine form of Govardhana. Lord Krishna's amazing transcendental activities were certainly in keeping with the festive atmosphere. Reborn. Krishna Prabhupada, wonderful verse here, so we can see that Lord Krishna expanded himself as Govardhana. So Govardhan is not different from Krishna. So anyway, there was a festive moment among all the Brajavasis. So he induced them to celebrate, of course, as we know, Govardhan is also a devotee, but at the same time he is not different from Krishna. So Harivarsha, so we read in our previous verses. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Lord Krishna, as a 7-year-old baby or a child, he was about 7-year-old when this pastime was happening. And he is also expanded. He is showing his form. That's also Krishna. And as Radha Govinda is explaining that Actually, all the Vrajanganas, the gopis are thinking, oh, this is our Shyam Sundar. This is our Krishna, right? They could see Krishna there. And then they were getting confused. Oh, is our Krishna there? Is our Krishna there? Where is our Krishna? He said, then he said, okay, everyone offer obeisances. Everyone must offer obeisances. And he himself is offering obeisances. Just see how this hill has appeared as a person. Did Indra ever appear personally? So we all should bow down. Bowing down. Very, very important. Bowing down. Tasmai namaha. So bowing down is very, very important. Bowing down to devotees, bowing down to the deities, bowing down to the Vaishnavas, to Tulsi Maharani, to Giri Govardhan, to Bhagavatam. Our great Rupa Sanatana Goswami, they would bow down to everyone actually. And not just one or twice. Hundreds of times. So in Krishna is also bowing down here, offering obeisance to himself. So beautiful. And also telling, oh wow, look at this Govardhan. Indra never appeared personally. See, Govardhan has appeared. He is real. He's our everything. He's a real God. He's a real everything. You must worship Govardhan, not Indra. And while all this was happening, and Govardhan was eating like huge, with huge hands and very big hands, and he was eating like mountains of rice and mountains of dal and this and that. One Rajavasi said, "Are Baba Bhaskar, please stop. What will we eat? Everything will be finished." Rajavasi's prem, right? Their mood is a little different, right? Indra never touched things, so we could eat, we could get the remnants. This is not because of selfish desire to eat prasad, because it is a transcendental desire, lila, to enhance humor and friendship. It is in no way, it may sound like selfish. Hey, please stop eating, right? If a great personality is eating, we won't stop them, right? So from our perspective, it may sound selfish. Hey, let them complete what they want to eat, right? If Krishna comes personally at our home, will he say stop, or we'll do our best, right? If Prabhupada comes, will he say, no, just eat one roti, right? No, we'll give, the best. But here that is totally selfless, out of love and the Vatsalya rasa, the friendship rasa. Krishna's friends, like they would punch him, they would play with him, they would kick him, they would ride on his back, but that's not at all selfish. So in short, there was a transcendental atmosphere there. Very, very festive. Everyone is dancing, doing parikrama. Govardhan has personally appeared, offering obeisance. And that's what we see even now, right? Whenever you go to Govardhan, it's a very festive atmosphere. There are a lot of holy places. You do darshan, offer, take that darshan of all these temples, prostrate or bow down, take charanamrit of the holy kundas, keep chanting the holy names, keep dancing, walking. As we keep walking, we are circumambulating, keep seeing the beautiful Govardhan on our right side. There are monkeys, there are different birds, different, nilgai also. Last time we saw like the blue cows, the special tall cows. And there are thousands and thousands of devotees. And it's kind of a festival all the time. So this is Govardhan. And here we primarily are talking about Namaha. This word comes so many verses. Nama Ishwaram Satchidananda Rupam. Namo Namaha Namaste Narshingaya. So many verses out of the many 9 limbs, nama is offering obeisances, or vandanam, can link it. It's basically prayer, right? In a prayerful mood, we offer obeisance. We offer prayers, or we do namaste. The word namaste, the word even in the Muslim tradition, word namaz is also coming from nama, right? Any other thoughts or comments anyone has? Okay, let's read the next verse, text number 37. Anyone wants to read this? Any Matajis are in a position?
I can read, Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa. And pranam to all the devotees. Text 37. Esho vajanato martyan kamarupi vanaukashaha hantihi ashmai namasyamaha sarmane atmano gavam. Translation and purport by the disciple of His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. This Govardhan Hill, assuming any form he wishes, will kill any residents of the forest who neglect him. Therefore, let us pay our obeisances to him for the safety of ourselves and our cows. Purport. Kamarupi indicates that the form of Govardhana can manifest as poisonous snakes, wild animals, falling rocks, and so on, all of which are competent to kill a human being. According to Srila Sridhar Swami, the Lord presented 6 theoretical points in this chapter. Number 1, that karma alone is sufficient to determine one's destiny. Number 2, that one's conditioned nature is the supreme controller. Number 3, that the modes of nature are the supreme controller. Number 4, that the Supreme Lord is simply a dependent aspect of karma. Number 5, that he is under the control of karma. And number 6, that one's occupation is the actual worshipable deity. The Lord presented these arguments not because he believed them, but rather because he wanted to stop the impending sacrifice to Indra and divert it to himself in the form of Govardhana Hill. In this way, the Lord desired to agitate that falsely proud demigod. So here, Lord himself is telling what is the importance of worshipping Govardhan Hill. And then he also pointed out that please pay obeisances to this for the safety of the mankind, safety of the cows, to worship Govardhan Hills. And here in the purport, it's Srila Sridhar Swami pointed out, this summarizes the 6 points of this chapter. And here the karma actually is everyone's own responsibility. How the conditioned soul will act, accordingly they will get the fall, the prarabdha, kutam, bijam, etc. So supreme, and therefore everyone's nature, how they will act, they will behave accordingly, they will get that. And the living being's nature is their supreme controller. So Lord Krishna cannot control someone's karma, cannot like if I suffer from our karma, that is my responsibility. Krishna has no hand on it, but he is the supreme father here. So, and also Krishna is mentioning that just to worship Lord Krishna, no other demigods. So that is the main point he wants to point out here, that please worship me, come to me, I will take care of you. So you do not have to worship the demigods for material benefits. That's Lord Krishna is telling. Back to you, Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Thank you so much, Swati Mataji, for sharing this nice verse. Avajanato, those who are neglectful towards this Govardhan, what will happen? All the one okasa, the wild, ferocious animals like lions, tigers, snakes, poisonous snakes, hanti hi, they will certainly kill or destroy those who are. So Krishna is using a little bit fear also here. So let us offer our obeisance. Namasya Maha. Let us offer our obeisance for the protection of our cows, ourselves, Atmanaha, Gavam, and of our cows, because that's the main, Krishna is a cowherd, and all the community is a cowherd community. So Krishna is also using a little bit fear here, that anyone who is, or basically teaching for future also, if anyone is disrespectful towards Govardhan, or disobeys Krishna's order, then that's what will happen, right? And we see that also, just having love and devotion towards Govardhan brings all good fortune, and not doing so will basically destroy one. And we see that also. And basically it is multiple verses, same points is mentioned, that if we have this precious human form of life and we do not take shelter of Sri Radha Krishna, then we are drinking poison. Basically, we are killing our own soul. We're killing our own self. Manushya janam paya Radha Krishna na bhajya chaniya shuniya vishe khaino. We are drinking poison. Poisonous snakes. So, and what about these 6 points? Should we follow these 6 points? What do you all say? Is this correct?
What is the question, Prabhuji?
The 6 points mentioned here, right? What Krishna told the Vrajavasis, the 6 reasons he gave to worship Govardhan. Basically, all these are atheistic. These are not correct reasons as per Shastra, right? Karma alone is sufficient to determine one's destiny. Again, God is out of picture here, right? One's conditioned nature is the supreme controller. Well, supreme controller is always one. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. He is the controller of all controllers. And here, the Supreme Lord is simply dependent on the act of karma. No, he is not an ordinary thing. He is the controller of all the, all the modes. He is the one who sanctions and permits the Devi Esha Gunamai Mammaya Duratteya. Right? Everything is working under his direction. Chaye vayasya bhuvanani vibharti durga. Ichhan roopam api asya. Ichha, uski ichha, Bhagwan ki ichha se she is working. So all these points are philosophically incorrect. That he is under the control of karma, the Supreme Lord, not at all, right? One's occupation is one's actual worshipable deities. Oh my God. Modern days people say this a lot. Karma hi puja hai. Work is worship. I am karma yogi, and my job is to just do my job. That's it. That means to earn money, to take care of my family, to build a nice house and get a lot of money. And maybe, like once in a while, I'll go to the temple. My job is that's my dharma, that's my karma, that's my everything. No. If just working hard is our deity as mentioned, our occupation is our deity. That's not correct. Who is the object of worship there? Who's the object of worship? The object of worship is my own senses or my extended senses. That's my family, right? And the object of worship, what can be made worship if the object of worship is Krishna? Otherwise, dharma sunishtita pumsam vishvaksena kathasu na utpadyed yadiratim shrama eva hi kevalam. It's futile labor. If work is worship, then donkey is the best pujari because he does a lot of hard work. He's the best pujari, right? But what is his motive? His motive is to get the carrot. That's his only motive. That's why he works hard and gets the beating of his master, lifts a lot of load, prakriti sthane karshati, and that's pretty much majority of the population. Working so hard, day and night. Work is worship. So modern day people are just following this. Oh, don't worry about God and all. He's, after all, everything depends on karma. Everything depends, God and all is out of picture. So in this 6 sentences, basically Krishna used it for a specific purpose. Why? Very nicely. Not because he believed in them. Right? How can we prove it? Because he spoke the entire Bhagavad Gita, which is totally against these 6 points. Right? He says in so many verses from Bhagavad Gita we can use to disapprove all these points. Correct? And the other Bhagavatam and other. So he doesn't believe in them. Right? But rather he wanted to divert or stop in the sacrifice. Why? Was he envious of Indra? Now someone can ask, why, let them do. Why is Krishna bothered about it? I think we have already covered that, because if the child is going in wrong direction, will not the parents bother about him or her? So Indra is gone on a pedestal on the mountain of false pride. Therefore, Krishna is bothered about him out of love. Stopping puja, like sometimes the parent may take away something from the child, not because they hate the child, but because the child is maybe misutilizing it. Or maybe, let's say that the child has a new phone and he's like showing off, oh, look at, my father gave me this phone, which all of you have very cheap phones. I have the best phone in the world, and this and that. And the father sees, well, I gave him for doing some work and studies and whatnot, and he is thinking like, I'm the boss of the school because I have a special new iPhone 15 or whatnot, right? So the father will say, hey, you don't deserve this. Bring it back. So in that also it's Krishna's love only for his devotees. And here that's Indra. So he wanted to agitate. Because if someone is respected and someone becomes attached to respect, the moment they are disrespected, the moment they do not get that, they will be agitated. Is it not? If someone is demanding or expecting respect, the moment they don't get it, they'll be agitated. That's the Lord Chaitanya Mahāprabhu says, Trinadapi sunichina taroriva sahishan amanina manadena. To expect no respect. That's humility. Because the moment we start expecting respect, we will get agitated. Whether it's because of any position, whether it's because of anything material or even spiritual. The moment we start expecting respect, oh, I'm senior, so they should respect me. Oh, I have more money, so they should respect me. Oh, I have more knowledge, or I have more degree, or I have a better house, or I have a better car, or I'm senior in Iskcon, or this or that. The moment we expect respect, we will become agitated. That's Indra's. We are also learning that lesson from here. That's what happened. Indra took it for granted. We should never feel entitled. Indra felt, I am entitled. Her Grace Yamuna Mataji says this, that as a Iskcon devotee, one should never feel entitled. Oh, I'm senior devotee, people should, oh, I give Bhagavatam class, people should respect me. No. The moment we start feeling entitled, humility will be lost, gratitude will be lost. And these two are most important qualities for spiritual progress. Entitled means, oh, I deserve it. And when we feel we deserve it, then we are not grateful. So everything goes, the good qualities go together, bad qualities go together, right? Like one cannot be very grateful and not humble, or vice versa. One cannot be very, very proud and very grateful too. That they don't go together. One can be very proud and one can feel entitled. One can feel, oh, everyone should respect me. And the moment, so Krishna may arrange certain things through other devotees or through other circumstances to bring us down from the mountain of false pride. Any thoughts, comments anyone has? Any additions before we pause for today? I see so many wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, Baldev Prabhu, Subala Gopal Prabhu, Arun Bhandari Prabhu, Devaki Devi Mataji, Aswati Mataji, Muna Mataji, and Shilpa Mataji. Thank you so much for your kind audience and attending, reading, hearing, sharing. Very, very grateful for your association in reading this beautiful story of Govardhan Leela together. So if there are no comments, then I guess we can pause here and continue from the next verse tomorrow. Grantraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Mahapurana ki jai, Giriraj Govind ki jai, Samaveti Gaur ki jai, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Prasandubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji. Dandot Pranam, Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much. Hari Bol.